tend to believe that anybody feels the way we do about our girls and all those courts we're traveling to. And all the roads we drive, all the states we see, we've been volleyball'd all so desperately. I said maybe we're gonna be the ones to cheer them on. We're lost in this volleyball.
Chapter 22. This is Volleyball'd, and I'll just point out that it's been a little bit of a hiatus for you and I. We've had a lot of stuff going on.
I'm Allison.
And I'm Carlos. So welcome back. We're the Medinas. And all right, let's start off with just a handful of things. First off, we ended up having some drywall put into our basement, and that was like a 2.5 week procedure. And so during that time period, it didn't take that long to get that done, but it was the cleanup and everything else. We still haven't finished everything that we were planning on, but that was the initial break as to why you and I didn't podcast.
And I was traveling for work.
And you were traveling quite a bit. And then, and this is a small high five to us, we had our 20-year wedding anniversary, and you had decided earlier in the year, because I loved it, but I also do not do anything cool for me ever. You do it. That's why I appreciate you. You're like, we're getting out of the country. So we went to the Dominican for a week for our 20th wedding anniversary. And so that takes up like about a month worth of time where we did not podcast one time.
Sorry, guys.
And then we got into the end of the season, and eventually now we're in the midst of, let's see, USAV Nationals, AAU Nationals. Let's start with just our 11-year-old. We did the trip to Minneapolis, our second time back, and that was the first time for a lot of the parents to experience what it's like to go through that process. As we told them, it's going to be very hard. I think we finished either like 10th or 11th out of the teams. We were alive until the challenge round, and at that point we got beat by a pretty good team. But all in all, it was a good experience for a lot of the younger parents and for us as well.
First of all, I'm tired. I've been home like 36 hours in the past 2 weeks. And we've got another trip. We leave tomorrow, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Today's Sunday. We leave tomorrow. Yay. 11 through 13's USAV is so fun. It's the younger girls who are still so excited about volleyball, and everything's fun. And the theme days are, celebrated by the coaches and the parents. You see these like big 6'5" dude coaches wearing tutus and leis, and it's just like so much fun. My husband actually was volunteered. Our team was called the Bananas as our like team nickname, and my husband was volunteered to wear a full-size banana costume to AAUs this year. No, sorry, USAV.
Which I didn't expect, the amount of parents that wanted to do pictures, the amount of kids. This was the costume that my daughter wore for the last practice of the season. They all wore something banana themed, and she had gotten it large enough to tell me, Dad, I want you to wear it for the first day to be the banana. And what are you going to say to your 11-year-old daughter when she asks you, Dad, will you be the banana? So fortunately, because there's nothing worse than when your team goes 0-3 and you're wearing the banana costume. We were really good in the first two matches. Credit, you beat the crap out of everybody, including us. And I was wearing the banana costume going, this isn't going well. Can't wait to get this banana costume off.
Oh, and I made the joke that he looked slightly phallic wearing a banana costume, and then he started getting clipped by all these girls. So he had clips all over the top of the banana, and the banana slowly started sagging down, became much more of a limp banana by the end of the day, which was a hilarious running joke with parents.
I started busting out every banana joke I knew, including telling people, yes, I know you find me very appealing. So it was just one after another. But yeah, then we went into the next day, and we won our matches. And by the time we get to that end of, you get through the first part of the process, it's only a 3-day tournament, and we had to win to continue things. And the fun part about that, I think we played our best match in about 3 or 4 months. And we came out and beat a team. I think it was like 15-5 before they kind of got an idea as to what was going on. And this was one United. They were really talented. I think we ended up beating them like 25-8 or 25-9. And we thought, okay, we're going to blow through them. They're the former number 1 seed. We're going to take over this tournament. And then they killed us.
And then they remembered they were from North Texas.
So they bombed us in the second set, and then it was pretty close. I think we lost like 15-12 or 15-11.
It was a good match. It was a really good match.
It was a good match. It was a good match. It was a fun match. They went on and played Mad Frog, and it's always at this point with that age group, it's the North Texas Invitational. We finished off with Fieldhouse, who we'd beaten earlier in the year, but they beat us to eliminate us, and so it was a lot of fun. But it was one of those experiences where my daughter got her very first, because she's seen her older sister, who every year goes to nationals, and she gets the picture that ends up, being with the, what is it?
In the floor tile.
The floor
we
tile.
buy the floor
picture.
tile in one picture with an action shot.
So this was her first year to get one, and she thought it was the coolest thing in the world, and she got the sweatshirt. And I know as a parent, oftentimes we're a little bit beaten down by having to buy the extra stuff, but it has been cool the second time around to have the younger daughter looking at some of the cool stuff she thinks her sister has and starting to purchase that stuff and starting to have that stuff in her room.
Here is the issue with having 2 children playing volleyball. I used to be the mom who was prepared to go to a 4-day tournament and had paper plates already packed and plastic forks already packed and all the things that I needed in my room. But when you have about 18 hours to go from one tournament to the next, I kind of lost track of things this year, and we're leaving again tomorrow, and it's not going to be any better the next time around. So Instacart was my best friend at this tournament.
I'll tell you what, pull back the curtain a little bit. So Allison and I, we did AAUs with our 16s team, our 15-year-old daughter. We'll talk about how that played out in a moment. But we ended up in the Orlando airport. We had a 4-hour weather delay. Eventually, what happened was the crew timed out. So Delta flat out told us, hey, we're just going to send y'all to the hotel. And at that point, I was completely fine with that. But by the time we got to Atlanta this morning, again, safely to Atlanta, they took care of everything. That was fine. That ate into one of our days. And so we landed today in Atlanta on Sunday the 28th, and we have to now fly to Indianapolis on Monday the 29th. And you want to talk about a mad scramble? You and I are still washing clothes upstairs and trying to get bags repacked again.
Yeah, basically everything that was in the bag got washed and is folded and is going right back in the bag. That's the only way I can handle this at this point. I don't have brain power to think of anything else to bring or do.
I feel like we were so much better off, again, when both girls were, obviously the older traveled more, but our younger played a lot more local tournaments, and we can kind of figure it out. With this balancing act, and we were fortunate this year, it's a little bit of a bummer, but the fact that the younger kids had to pick whether you qualified for USAV or you went to AAUs, because for years we've done both, and the older kids were able to do both, but because of the scheduling situation, you had to pick one or the other. That has awkwardly been a little bit of a godsend for us this year, because could you imagine 4 tournaments between 2 girls in the span of about 2 weeks?
I have been joking about how much I'm dreading to get my June Amex bill.
Every year we do that.
And when we first saw, like, oh, she's not going to be able to go to USAV and AAUs this year. That's a bummer. There's a day overlap. Took me about 30 seconds before I went, that's going to save me about $3,000. Totally fine with it.
Yeah, between the flights and everything else, yeah, that's kind of worked out this year. All right, so let's move over to AAUs. We were in the third wave of AAUs, playing in the 16s division, and we have talked about how we went to a smaller club this year, and our 15-year-old was playing up. We talked about how they won Big South, and we really felt like they were coming together and they would have the capability of doing something special. They played a lot of 17s and 18s. They played Open earlier in the year, a lot of USA. And while we didn't win those tournaments, we were competitive. And so we kind of were building towards maybe we'll have a chance to do something special. towards the end of the year outside of Big South. And I think after the first couple of days, when we were 3-0 and then 6-0, and that's typical of a lot of the good teams out there. I get that. But we were looking around because we had a lot of parents that hadn't really, some of them had been at a previous club with us and who knew how this game was. But I would say a majority of our parents, this was new for them to go play AUs with a team that had really big aspirations.
And they just kept surprising us. And it was pretty fun to watch. I volunteered to order the first group food order of the day. Learned real quick that you got to make sure in Orlando when you do an Uber Eats order that your driver speaks Inglés. Because if they do not speak Inglés, it is very, very difficult to find you at the Orlando Convention Center, Orange County Convention Center. So we, after an hour of communicating through Google Translate, finally ended up giving the address to the Denny's across the street and met the Uber driver in the Denny's parking lot to get the lunch order for our girls for day one. So lesson learned. You're going to need coordinates.
If I may, this is for the dad squad end of this thing. So we had because we came in with 162 teams. We were the 11th seed. So we started off pretty much the whole tournament as one of the top seeds. So we were the 7:30, the 9:30, and then the 12:30 match. And that was our schedule for the first basically 4 days, first 3 days, full days of AAUs.
Which is ideal. AM wave, all about it. Love it.
I'll take it every time. I'm an early riser. And so what would happen is that my dad and my stepmom were in town. So every time we would hit after that 9:30 match, it was, let's go hang out at the bar. And so we would head on over. Well,
unless you were waiting for the Uber Eats lady in the Denny's parking lot, which doesn't sound shady at all.
Which I thought nothing of it at the time because my wife has this stuff under control. This is not new for her. This is old hat. She has done it. She's got all the apps. She knows how to do this. She's done this for 4 or 5 years. Not a problem for her. I walked back into that gym and the look on her face after what she had gone through, and I think the moment it hit me was when, you know how every now and then you might, as a spouse, as a loved one, you put your hand lovingly on the small of someone's back to kind of comfort them, like it's going to be okay. She wasn't lying. It was as sweaty as it gets from running around outside.
I was soaked. I mean, soaked in all the crevices, all the places you could possibly sweat. I sweated through. It was 95 freaking degrees outside, and I was out there in a Denny's parking lot. Oh, by the way, pro tip, if you're giving the Denny's parking lot as your Uber pickup spot, there are not one, but 2 Denny's on International Drive in Orlando. I don't know who planned that out, but not smart.
So to continue from there, I did what any decent husband would try and do. I just grabbed her quietly, lovingly. I just grabbed the back of her shirt and just started doing the whole, like, let's see if I can fan as much air into the back of this.
He was fanning my shirt.
Just
I was
trying.
so sweaty. And it was a frozen tundra inside of OCCC this time. Only every 10 minutes, though.
Yeah.
Where we were like right in the middle by the internal console. What do you call that?
We were in the area where the middle portion where all the bathrooms and the stages are, whether it's the picture stage or the award stage. We were on courts 49 and 50 for the first few days. So we were right in the middle. And for some reason, every 10 minutes, frozen.
Every 10 minutes, this like burst of cold air would come and just freeze you to bits. And then it would calm down again. But it was, I don't know what was going on with the court numbers this year at AAUs. It was like, court 49 was next to 129 and 75 was on the other corner, and like it didn't make any sense.
It was very confusing. In fact, a couple of the other dads I knew, when I went to go try and find their matches, I never have to do this. I had to go look at the schematic of where the courts were to figure it out. Because
we actually needed the map.
You actually needed the map. It was actually really strange. All right, so let's fast forward. We're in a cool place. The team was 9-0. We got the challenge match that evening. We actually had a team out of Wisconsin that we had played earlier in the tournament, and they got hot. and we ended up being able to be fortunate enough to beat them again. And so we go into the final day, and we're looking around going, all right, this might lay out for us in the right way. But we knew, too, the very first match was against an Illini team that was really good, and they hung with us for a while, and we were able to kind of push through it. And then we ended up with an old nemesis. This was Candy. This was KEVC. And they had sent their top 16s team. And at that point, both our team and their team were both undefeated, but they hadn't dropped a set. And they had just played a couple of teams where they had blown them out. And so we're going into that match. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was concerned when we saw them get on the floor, and they were a big athletic team. They could move well. And I think in that first set, we found out that if we don't get our act together, they're going to smoke us.
I mean, the challenge match is a big deal, right? You play the whole first 3 days hoping to get the right draw for that day 3 challenge match, because depending on who you are seated against, it makes or break the entirety of your nationals experience at AAUs. And we, ended up playing a team we had played already, which is a benefit, of course. But you get the next day and you're just happy to be there, right? We were just happy to be there. We didn't know we were going to make championship bracket.
We're down to 16 teams, and we're the little team from Atlanta.
Okay, we're here. We're just going to have fun now. It's going to be great. Now we could just show up and play and just hang out and just do our thing, and no pressure is on our back at all, because there was no expectations that we would even get to this point. And then we go into our first match and we win in 2 fairly easily. And now we're in the quarterfinals, and we're up against this Candy team who we know from the past, not because our current club played them last year, but our last club in the quarterfinals of AAUs, we played them.
Same spot when our girls were 14.
And they have a very similar playing style. This was a different team, right? Because that was 14s last year. Now we're 16s. But they do the same thing. They serve to the outsides, and they hit line,
and they have large players on the outside.
They block really well. They have
really
setters who can move. They're it was a very similar brand of volleyball that I remember from last year, and they're a very, very good team, very good club. And they brought the house to come watch them play as well, which is always, a little intimidating when you're the tiny club with the tiny little parents who are the reason I'm hoarse right now is because we're trying to yell as loud as we can.
It's all 8 or 9 of us. And so we get into the second set, and at that point we kind of get a lead, and we had a lead a couple different times. It was we were up by 3 or 4. They'd immediately come back, jump all over us, but we found a way to get up late. And at the time, it's 22-15. We're we're going to coast to this. We're finally going to give them a loss. And the great team that they were, before we knew it, they grinded us down. They made plays, and it was 24-all. And now we're in this, oh my God, are we really going to blow this thing?
This is the season, right? This is a season right here. We're all sweating. We're all my chest. My poor mother-in-law is sitting next to me, and she is double hand, white knuckle, clutching her cross necklace.
She's very Catholic.
just doing her rosaries, just praying that we could pull out the next point one at a time. It was intense. You've all been there. Those matches that just it's a 2-point swing either way, and either team is good enough to win. And it was that match for the entire tournament for us, and it was intense.
So we get to 26-25, and the situation just with our offense, my daughter gets the ball on the outside, and she hits a pretty decent shot, and they get it up, and ball comes back our way. We try to rotate it, and it comes her way again. And now she tries a different shot, and it doesn't work. And they get another shot right back at us, and now here's your third crack at it. And honestly, I don't know why our setter decided to do it. I think it was just the only option at that moment. She's like, I'm going to give you one more shot at this. And she smashed a ball that she just hit that was maybe right about, right outside the 10-foot line.
Cut shot.
Cut shot.
Right in behind the 10-foot line. It was beautiful.
And that was us winning 27-25. And the girls go nuts. The parents go nuts. But now it's a third set. And all I can say is this. I don't know because momentum's a real thing, right? I mean, like, I believe in it in basketball. I believe in it in volleyball. Whatever happened in that second set to that other team that hadn't lost a set the entire time, it carried over for about 5 minutes, and we jumped all over them. And by the end, when we closed it out, so it's 14-7, and you take it from here because we found out about a rule that we didn't even know about. And I think we followed this pretty well.
This is actually a good point to bring up. So we're up 14-7. Our daughter's serving, right? Puts a nice hard serve on. We rally back and forth a little bit. They put a shot on our not libero. It was the right side. She goes diving and scrambles to get it up. Our libero comes in and sets the ball with her hands to the outside. She hits it over, does not get the kill. I believe we ended with a block to end the game. Our kids go crazy. They're running in circles. They're on the floor. Our parents are screaming and jumping. We look up at the referee, and he's calling for captains. We're like, what just happened?
What are we doing right now?
We just won.
Why do you
We
need
just
captains?
won. We just won. We're in the semifinals. What's happening right now? The coach of the other team recognized that our libero's foot was over the 10-foot line when she set the ball with her hands to the outside. So USA, or I guess rules in general, I don't know if it's USAV or AAUs, you cannot, as a libero, set inside the 10-foot line with your hands to any position. You have to bump set. And because she's got great hands and does it all the time, she didn't realize where she was on the court because the ball came flying at her from the back right, who was our defender who was diving.
It happened so fast, and going back to look at it, I would say
It's the correct call.
It's the correct call. There was probably, I mean, it wasn't. It was smart on the coach to pick up what he was doing. It was not egregious. It wasn't like it was, hey, she's got her whole leg and she's halfway there. It's like, but she had a portion of that
like
foot.
Her heel was on the 10-foot line.
I mean, it was not a lot, but it was totally the right call. And so suddenly we have to re-rack.
Yeah, now instead of being 15-7, we win, we're in the semifinals, it's 14-8, which is only a big deal because this has happened to us this year already.
And it's only a big deal because we'd been up 22-15 and we ended up tied at 24 with this team that we had great respect for, that were so good. And now suddenly we're having to play it out one more time. Now, fortunately, we get the next point, but it wasn't the same sort of
reaction. Yeah. We didn't celebrate quite the same way as the first time.
It was almost more like, hey, I'm kind of mad that you took that moment away. And to point this out, when it came to our club, if you ever want to follow TK on Instagram or on Facebook or anywhere else, they actually posted the first celebration video because the second one is a downer. It was just kind of like, okay, that's great. All right. Hey, we got that done. So we get into the semifinal. And at this point, my daughter has been to the semifinal before at 12s and at 14s. And at both times we lost. And we were so close, but we lost both times. Lost last year, lost a few years ago when we did the whole Disney Wide World of Sports thing when AAUs was doing that. And so here's our opportunity. And the match we ended up playing, it's us, and then one court over is the other semifinal. And so it's like a race to see who can knock out the other team first. And it was Legacy versus an Arizona team and us versus another team. And I think we probably played, as far as playing clean, I think we played our cleanest match of the day in that semifinal.
Yeah, they were from Indiana. That was the fun thing about I swear I'm going to start a business where I just make sweatshirts that have the entire United States of America map with all of the regions for volleyball, because everyone's always like, OD? What's OD? And I'm like, Old Dominion, Virginia. You learn so much when you play in a national tournament and start to see where these teams are from. But I mean, every day we were playing teams from different states that we've never seen before, and it was pretty amazing.
And so we ended up knocking that match out, and we won it in 2. And now it's kill some time and go play our finals. All right, fast forward. We're in the arena, And I guess the best way I can describe this, I thought you gave a great piece of information to our daughter. You're like, we don't know when this is ever going to happen again. Will it ever happen again? Enjoy it. Take it all in. And I think like we know teams that have been disappointed at that point and then they go at it the next year like, we got to win the national championship. We were the little team that was hot. And I even though, fast forward, it didn't work out for us, I didn't walk away from that at any point with like some extreme disappointment. It was almost like, what a run, what an amazing time. And even though our girls were upset in the moment, I think they got over it pretty quick when they started to realize your club doesn't do this. Like, this doesn't happen. And yet you guys are able to do this.
That's what I actually said this to our parents in our group me chat. I said, listen, I know that loss feels tough to not win a championship, but most girls who play volleyball at this level never get on that stage, never get to take that picture with a medal around their neck, with a trophy that they get to hold up. Most girls who play volleyball don't ever see that at AAUs or USAV. It is a huge deal to get to a championship game, and we don't take it for granted at all. This is my daughter's first experience doing that. Might be her last. We don't know.
That might be it. That might be the one chance.
And it was awesome. It was awesome. We cheered our heads off. They played great. They had some moments of, not feeling like they were.
We played a really good team that basically put us in a situation where we were doing things that we hadn't done all tournament. And so they went 14-0, we went 13-1, and they earned it because at points they were kicking our butt. But that's how good they were.
Yeah, it was a great experience. So I'm really proud of them and happy for everyone. But, you learn something every time you do a new tournament. When you go to nationals, you learn something new every time. And for us this time, it was really about learning how to enjoy the experience. Like, don't let the pressure get to you. Don't let the expectations get to you. When you're at a smaller club, there are no expectations. Like, you do well and everyone's thrilled. And it's amazing. It's such a great feeling when everyone's like feels like they've done something they weren't supposed to do. It just hits different than when it's like an expectation.
I think one of my favorite parts was to have other people that we knew that were at other clubs in Atlanta that were hovering around our court, and it turned into, well, I know her. Like, my kid played with her when they were 11 or when they were 12, or, oh no, we played them earlier in the year. They're a good team. And so we were feeling all this because, quite honestly, when we played Candy, it felt like they had their entire club there. When we played the Illini team, I think they brought like 4 of their teams there. Okay, we didn't have that. We had 2 of our teams there. And so to start picking up support from the rest of the Atlanta area, from other coaches, high school coaches, or other club team, that was really cool.
It was great. I mean, there was some sense of camaraderie there for sure. And don't get me wrong, in the 16s division, doesn't matter what you're playing, open, premier club, whatever. Yeah. The coaches are there. The college coaches are walking nonstop. It was like a running tally of which coaches stopped to watch our court at different moments. And that is definitely new for us. Coming into the 16s this year, we skipped a year, if you will, going from 14s to 16. So it's definitely a little bit different. And you could see.
Did you see who came by?
Did you see who came by? Oh my God.
All right, I'm going to point this one out. And I'm not going to say the school name. I'm just going to say that we had an Ivy League school that was there at we had found out they're coming to watch us play. Here are the girls that they're looking at. And they want to watch them play and I think they stayed for about half or 3/4 of a set. The funny part after that was I started texting my other friends. I was like, hey, we just had school X at our court. One of our girls is going to be a senator in the future.
The rest of us were like, which of our kids is smart enough to have that school watching them play volleyball?
And so it's a little bit of that. I mean, I get it. Like, everybody wants to get Nebraska or Penn State to come watch them. I don't mind when it's school X that has a certain amount of pedigree to it where, yeah, I think you're going to be in pretty good shape with your life moving forward if they ever were interested in recruiting you as a volleyball player.
What is so crazy about doing this through the volleyball recruiting system is, I'm a lifelong sports fan. I know a lot of colleges. I know what their mascots are. But that's largely because I have watched football and basketball my entire life. There are so many Division I schools that don't have those programs. They don't have basketball. They don't have football. So I've never heard of them. So you see these schools and you go look them up and Google them and you're like, oh, that's a great campus. That's a nice program. That's a good school. I could get on board with this. And you take Division II and Division III into account with that as well. There's a lot of good volleyball out there. A lot.
We have a particular player on our team, and we found out what her future major wants to be. And when she started kind of explaining it to us, she's like, well, this is going to eliminate or at least reduce some of the schools I can look into, to the point where when she started explaining, she goes, well, maybe I'll just limit it to biology so I can consider more schools. I'm like, hold on a second. You're going to limit it to biology from what you were considering. I mean, that's the kind of, I guess it's been enlightening to see where there might be 20 schools reaching out to her and she's like, so do you happen to have this major? And that might eliminate a handful. So it's a dance. It's a dance the entire time to find the right situation. But I will tell you from this weekend, the amount of schools, and it's just going to pick up at USAV. I already looked into it on one of the systems. There's another 250 schools. And so that's going to be the next round because we go there with a bunch of 16-year-old teams.
Yeah, and our daughter had a wonky swing when she knew one of those coaches was standing on the sideline. Setter sets her a rip, came in a little low. She takes a full swing at it and sailed it out like she was trying to hit a home run. I said to her, I was like, you're going to take hundreds of swings in front of hundreds of coaches over the next 3 to 4 years, and you just got to keep going because who cares? Who cares? There's lots of opportunities out there.
There's a reason why there's all this tape and everything else. It's just what it is. And so whatever you do on the court at USAV or AAU or anywhere else like that is not going to dictate the next 40 years of your life. So go have fun with it. Like, go enjoy. Take us on out.
All right. So I'm going to go pack again for our next round. I can't believe I'm getting on a flight again tomorrow, but here we go. Best of luck to everyone. Still at AAUs or heading out to USAV for the older divisions. And also, good luck with tryouts. I know we're coming right back. We're going to take like 2 good hard nights of sleep and then showing up at tryouts. So hopefully everyone can enjoy this last week of chaos and get back to business.
Today is gonna be the day that we run out of cash. Watching every serve and kill, it's a total smash. By now you should have somehow realized what we've lost. Our free time's gone, it's all for volleyball at any cost. I can't believe that anybody feels the way we do about our girls and all those courts we're traveling to. And all the roads we drive, all the states we see. We've been volleyball'd all so desperately. I said maybe we're gonna be the ones to cheer them on. We're lost in this volleyball. Backbeat, the word is on the street that we're broke again. Entrance fees for tournaments our girls already in. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but we're at the bar, drinking through the overwhelm. No life beyond this far. Don't believe that anybody feels the way we do about the nets and all the chaos we're stuck into. still here. Volleyball, oh volleyball. I don't believe that anybody